Let's go ahead and do this problem without a calculator. We have 75% of 88 is the same as 60% of what number? So the first thing that's always thinking to me is, let's go ahead and identify what exactly is 75%. And the easiest way that I always like to start with percents is either with a 50% or 10%. Now, since we're trying to get to 75%, I know that 75% can be broken into 50% plus 25%. Now, you might say that's kind of elementary, Mr. McLogan. I get that. But yes, it's really, really important because here's the thing that I want you to understand. What is 50% of 88? Now, again, you don't need to do a calculator and think about that. 50% is basically like taking that number and multiplying it by 1/2. So we know that 50%, half of 88 is going to be 44. Now, if we go ahead and do that one more time, if we take 50% of 44, that is technically going to be 25% of 88. So what that means is 25% of 88 is equal to 22, right? That's the same idea. So all I'm doing is taking one percentage and continually breaking it down. The reason why this is important is because we need to get to 75%. Well, if I know 50% of 88 is 44 and 25% of 88 is going to be 22, then I can say 75% is going to equal to 44 plus 22. All right, so that is what is 75% of 88. Now, what's important here? What are we trying to find? This number is going to be equal to, right, the same as, that means equals, so we can say 66 is going to be equal to 60% of what number? Now, we don't know what the number is, so let's go ahead and create a variable. X equals what number? The number. Now, again, you can use y or m or elemental p, doesn't really matter, but we need to identify 60%. Now, what I would prefer to do, remember, percent just means out of 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 60% and just rewrite that as 60 over 100, and then multiply that times x, right? Because when I'm saying 50% of 88, it's technically 50 over 100, which is the same thing as 1/2. You multiply by 88, that's how you got the 44. So we're doing the same thing over here. Now let's go ahead and solve by using our inverse operations. The first thing I can do here is multiply by 100 on both sides to get the 100 off the bottom. And therefore, that's going to give me a 6,600 is equal to a 60x. Now, all I simply need to do is divide by a 60 on both sides to go ahead and solve for x. I can divide out the zeros, and I have 660 divided by 6. So I know 6 goes into 600 100 times, and I know 6 goes into 60 10 times. Therefore, x is going to equal 110.